So good afternoon and welcome to the Millennium Stadium in Featherston, where we're here to bring you live uninterrupted commentary of this Betfred Championship round 25 clash between Featherstone Rovers and Oldham. It's a game that has plenty at stake for Featherston in particular, plenty of permutations for those last remaining two spots in the Championship playoffs with just 2 rounds to play, including this game. We're a few minutes away from kick-off here. We've got the team news in front of me with Featherston making 3 changes to the side that beat Sheffield on the road last time out, with injuries to Callum Turner and James Glover forcing a reshuffle from head coach Paul Cook, but he's able to bring back into the starting lineup the experience of Gadwin Springer and Will Jubb in the front row. Both of those players rested for the Sheffield clash. And elsewhere, Sitaleki Akawala drops out of the matchday 17 this afternoon, with Connor Wynne playing his first game in 3 weeks on the wing. So Featherstone line up like this. Caleb Akins is the fullback, 3-quarter line of Daryl Alfords, Bailey O'Connor, Gareth Gale reverting to the centres. Inside, Connor Wynne on the other wing. Ben Reynolds partners captain Danny Addy in the halves. Up front for Featherstone, Gadwin Springer, Will Jubb, Jimmy Beckett, Brad Day, Claire Webb and Nathan Wild making off the starting side for the hosts. On the bench for Featherstone, Connor Jones, King Vunny Ayawa, Robson Stevens and Jordan Williams. Well, Oldham, they've won their last 4 matches and are locked in 4th place in the Championship, can't drop below that, and this is their last regular season game going into the bye next week. Sean Long makes 2 changes to his side that narrowly beat at Doncaster 13 points to 12 last week, with Ryan Briley and Josh Drinkwater, 2 experienced heads, dropping out of the matchday 17, and they're replaced in the starting side by Kieran Dixon and Jack Johnson on both wings. So Oldham line up like this. Ethan Ryan is the fullback, 3-quarter line of Kieran Dixon, Ben Davis, Ben O'Keefe and Jack Johnson. Former Featherstone man Morgan Smith partners Felix Lalu-Togagai in the halves. Up front for Oldham, we have 2 other former Featherstone men in the form of Jack Ormonroyd and Matty Wilde, alongside Owen Farnworth, Ryan Lannon, Matty Foster and Adam Milner round off the starting side for the visitors. On the bench for Oldham, Elwar Pelissier, Jay Chapelhow, George Hurst and Tom Whitehead. So like I say, it's a game that has plenty at stake for Featherstone, who currently sit 5th in the table. They're just behind Oldham, but mathematically can't catch them with 2 weeks left of the regular season. But if they sit just 1 point above Halifax Panthers and 2 competition points above Widnes, crucially, Halifax and Widnes play each other this afternoon. A win for Featherstone pretty much guarantees them a place in the playoffs, whether that's 5th or 6th, with a superior points difference. Widnes need to overcome a points difference of well over 100 points in the remaining 2 weeks to upset that. But if Featherstone were to lose, they would still more or less be guaranteed a playoff place if Halifax Panthers beat Widnes. And then the other potential scenario is if Featherstone do lose this afternoon and Widnes beat Halifax, it will come down to the last remaining regular season round, in which case Featherstone take on the Bradford Bulls. So crucial game for Paul Cook's side. We've been in good form recently, winning 4 of the last 5 matches. They returned to winning ways last week with a comfortable 30 points to 10 win over the Sheffield Eagles. And they've got their destiny well and truly in their own hands as we await the 2 sides this afternoon. A little bit of history between the 2 sides. This season's clashes stands at 1 win each. Oldham winning 30 points to 28 in a thriller in April in the league, before Featherstone got their revenge with a 40 points to 18 win in May in the 1895 Cup on their road to a Wembley appearance, of course. And overall, between the 2 historic clubs, it's the 101st meeting. Featherstone currently shading it by 48 wins to 46, including 6 draws in there as well. The last time Oldham actually visited Post Office Road in a competitive fixture was back in 2021. Of course, Oldham spending recent seasons in League One, newly promoted this year, and had a really good season by their own standards. Former Featherstone coach, of course, Paul Cook, leading them to a top 4 finish. And they'll be well and truly in the mix to take on and try and win that Championship title. Of course, the remaining Super League spots for next year not sewn up and not decided, certainly not announced, but the league expanding to 14 teams. So a number of clubs wanting to do their talking on the field and put a case forward to play in the top flight next year. But Featherstone, the focus is on this afternoon, getting a win over Oldham. And as I said, barring a huge overhaul of points difference, will more or less lock themselves in at a playoff place as the two sides come out onto the Millennium Stadium field this afternoon. Oldham led out by former Featherstone man Matty Wildy. Danny Addy, the skipper for Featherstone, leading his side out. Oldham in there, primarily white and red striped traditional home shirt. Featherstone once again sporting their alternative green jersey. It's featured in the last few fixtures. And it is Featherstone's last home game of the regular season. The players, lovely sight, coming out with some of their children and mascots as well. The man in the middle for this fixture is Liam Rush. And we're just about ready to go. I believe Featherstone will be attacking from left to right as we see it in the first half. The stage is set live on FRTV. Betfred Championship round 25. Featherstone Rovers versus Oldham. Can Featherstone... We're just going to have... Oh yeah, the referee this afternoon is Liam Rush. We're just about ready to get this game underway now. Oldham will have first use of the ball. Can Featherstone claim the win and seal their place in the Betfred Championship playoffs? The next 80 minutes will tell us all we need to know. Featherstone attacking from left to right, but Oldham with first use of the ball. Ben Reynolds gets the game underway. Phoenix Lalu Togagai pouches it and hands it off to Owen Farnworth, who takes the first carry of the game. Oldham, of course, littered with Super League experience from this year. Plenty drafted in from the embattled Salford Red Devils, of course. They come forward through Lannon. Up and over the 22 men into the tackle there. Bailey O'Connor, chief tackler there, comes through the middle of the field to Milner. Ball playing to Lalu Togagai, hands it off to Foster. He made his debut for Oldham just last week. Ormond Royd over the 40 now. That'll be the last one for Oldham. 5 short of the halfway line. Morgan Smith puts it high. Testing one for Alford, so has to come forward. It got big on him at the last minute, but he did very well to adjust his body position and take that one on the Featherstone 30. O'Connor. He'll play the ball just shy of the Featherstone 40. Jubb at acting half. To Addy, operating in the standoff role this afternoon is Connor Wynn with his first carry, back in the side after missing the last 2. He'll wrestle his way up to a couple of metres short of the halfway line, middle of the tackle count. They come down the short side on the right. Addy has options inside and out. Gives it to Day. Day with a little bit of space, and he's all the way up to the Oldham 30-metre line, just shy of the 20, in fact. They come through the middle now. Addy, flat pass there for Beckett. Wildy was waiting for him with help from Ormond Royd, and that will be the last one for Featherstone, who made good yards in this set. Attacking kick coming here. They'll go left and up high from the boot of Reynolds. Looking to get a little bit of hang time on it. It's taken on that far side there by Johnson, who spent a little bit of time on loan at Featherstone early in his career and pouches it safely for his side now, as O'Keefe is the man brought to ground inside his 10, wrapped up by Jubb. 2 minutes of the game gone here. Featherstone 0, Oldham 0. Oldham trying to work away from their own end. Dixon didn't feature last week, back on the wing this afternoon. Plays it 20 metres out. Wildy acting half. Kicks early. He's got plenty on it as the rain starts to team down here at Post Office Road. Akins has to go back for it. Didn't get as much on it as he'd have liked. It was very early in the tackle count kick that from Wildy. And as it is, Akins has brought the ball all the way up to 5 short of the halfway line on just the first tackle, as Alford's juggled it a couple of times and almost went without it, and he was easy meat there for Ormond Royd. Just lost a little bit of momentum on that play, but Featherstone on this play, you'd imagine, will be into Oldham territory as Wynn advances over the halfway line. Grassed in the tackle of Lalu Togagai first up. Davies over the top to help out. 3 tackles gone. Wild playing it loose forward. Up and over the 40, taking defenders with him. Good physical start from Featherstone here. Springer just tucks it under the arm and takes it forward over the 30-metre line. This will be the last one for Featherstone. Come down the left edge again. Another high kick coming from Reynolds. A tester at the back for Ryan. Ryan takes it, gets off the ground, and is immediately put to ground there in the chase from O'Connor. And once again, Oldham start their set deep inside their own half as Johnson tries to beat the first man. Can't get away from the attention of O'Connor, who doubles up defensively. The ball comes to O'Keefe. Good shot. First up there from Beckett. And Bailey O'Connor effecting 3 tackles in a row there. Great early work rate. Milner gives it to Lelo Togagai. He's going wide out to Dixon. Now Dixon has pace, but he's forced to cut back in field here. Good defence on the inside from Gale. And Oldham deep inside their own half, late in the tackle count here. Milner, first receiver, pushes the ball back in field. There wasn't much on with that pass. That's been a strong defensive set as Hurst has tackled with the ball. I think Oldham have been forced into an early change here as Hurst already into the action. It's Matty Foster, I believe, who's come from the field, so an early reshuffle on the edge for Oldham. Featherstone won't mind that as they're already up to the Oldham 40. 5 minutes of the game gone, 0-0 the score. Webb, rampaging run down that left edge. There's 3 defenders needed in attendance to help bring him to ground on the 20. Featherstone in a good attacking opportunity here. Reynolds drops off Beckett. Beckett, good tackle down low by Wildy, helped out from O'Keefe. 15 away, they come short side down the left. Reynolds floats the ball over the top to Alforts. Alforts, can he get to the line? A stiff arm, he's gone down a metre short there, and he's just managed to stay in the field of play on that far side. Last tackle, ball's going to have to come back in here. Looping pass from O'Connor. Reynolds kicks it high, looking for chasers at the post. The ball battered back into the in-goal area and knocked dead eventually by Davis. And this is really good early signs from Featherstone, just building the pressure as the goal line dropout forced, and they will get another 6 tackles here to attack the Oldham line. Davis, the man who will kick it, a wobbly one, takes a couple of bounces, cut off on the 40 by Akins and gives it on to Beckett. Beckett just careers back into the Oldham line, and they were waiting for him, driving back a couple of metres. So Featherstone will start their set 30 metres away from the Oldham line. Still 0-0 the score. Springer. Energetic start from Featherstone. They need to convert this into points. As they come right, Addy. Flat pass there for Day. Day just standing in the tackle of Lalo Togagai. Help coming in there from Farnworth. 10 metres away now, just to the right-hand side of the post. Back through the middle. Springer takes it from Akins. Tries to bump away from Lalo Togagai, and this will be a penalty against Oldham. They're offside. Lalo Togagai, the man, penalised. And more pressure as they're going to go for the 2 points here, Featherstone. Great start from the hosts. Really physical, challenging Oldham to come out of their own end. Oldham have played the whole game so far deep inside their own half and giving away a penalty in kickable range here. And Ben Reynolds, who started the game on 196 points for the season, needs just 4 more to tick over the 200. You'd imagine the kick from just to the right-hand side of the post, 15 metres out, he'll convert this, nudge him closer to that milestone, and also, crucially, put Featherstone in the lead for the first time this afternoon. And the pressure all coming from Featherstone here. Reynolds steadies himself, steps up, guides the ball between the posts with a little difficulty, and after 8 minutes here at the Millennium Stadium, Featherstone have the lead. It's Featherstone Rovers 2, Oldham 0. Fantastic early signs from Featherstone. Kieran Dixon is the man who will be kicking off, getting the game back underway for Oldham. Alfords pouches it on the try line, hands it off to Beckett. Beckett comes back into a tenacious Oldham Roughyeds tackle. Good battle shaping up between the two front rowers. Webb, who's one of just 2 players to play in all 30 of Featherstone's fixtures so far this season. The other one, Caleb Aikens, at the back. Springer now will play it 30 metres from his line. Wild continues on his loan spell from Lee. Takes the ball 5 short of the 40. Aikens just takes the settler, almost went round Lannon, but plays it on the last quickly. Reynolds is going to have a little bit of time to kick this one. Hoiks it down the field, takes one bounce, cut off on the 20 by Ryan. Ryan just propels himself back into the Featherstone line, and Oldham starting their set on the 30, the best field position Sean Longside have had in the game so far. 2-0 the scoreline in Featherstone's favour. Just under 10 minutes of the game gone. Dixon looking for some work through the middle. Brought to ground by Dave, 5 short of halfway. Middle of the tackle camp for Oldham. Milner ball playing. Shapes steadies it and almost went through himself there. Good low tackle from Beckett was needed. But they've got a quick play of the ball. Wildy sets off from dummy half. Morgan Smith out to Ryan. Ryan weaving in the backfield. That's a great ball and all tackle coming in from Reynolds. Oldham are 30 metres away from the line now on the last. Smith puts the high kick up back down the short side. Aikens is ready for it. Takes it comfortably. And comes across field, almost cutting his way through the middle and had to spin away. Can't get away from Farnworth. Good return there from the Featherstone fullback as Alfords shrugs off Davis, who comes again with help from Ormonroyd. And Hurst, he'll play the ball 30 out. Oh, we've just got a stoppage here from the referee. The touch judge has come onto the field. Alfords just told to go back and play the ball. Not sure he ended up playing it too far from where he originally planned to play it, but the game back underway. Gale through the middle of the field up to the 40 now. Jubb gives it on to Wild. Wild just puts his head down and burrows the ball up to the halfway line. He's put to ground by Farnworth. Beckett had Springer with him, keeps hold of it. Keeps those legs pumping up and over the Oldham 40. And the good yardage set from Featherstone. They stay in the grind here as the rain subsides for now. Addy on the last. He's got plenty on that. It's a swirling bomb. Ryan gets up well and takes it well, but the chase was equally up to the task from Featherstone, with Reynolds leading the charge. Puts him to ground 20 out from the Oldham line as Dixon, outrageous dummy to nobody, takes it himself. Springer puts him to ground. Smith at acting half. Johnson put down in the tackle of Beckett and Wild. Lannon now almost cut through the line there up to the 40 and plays it quickly, no markers. So Oldham have got a free 10 metres here as Milner passes it into the path of a man, and it's a little bit of fortune there. I just think there was evidence to suggest that had touched an Oldham player into Brad Day, but the referee ruling that was touched by Featherstone, and Oldham have a fresh set. So Davis wrapped up in a great tackling off his edge there by Wynne. This is just the first tackle for Oldham as they come short side down the left. Lalu Togagai trying to spin away, but he's put to ground by Jubb. 35 out from the line. Hurst just drives it forward, loses the ball in the contact. Great tackle from the captain, Danny Addy. Greasy ball perhaps. Really good shot on the ball, forces the ball loose, and that will be a turnover. Featherstone will have the scrum on their own 30. So we've had 13 minutes gone here at the Millennium Stadium. The score remains Featherstone Rovers 2, Oldham 0. And Hurst injected into the game early here. It's the early injury to Alex Foster. I must say, after his first carry of the game, did look ginger coming out of the tackle. He's tried to run it off and has been withdrawn, so that may be the last we see of him. Potentially Oldham down to 16 players as Alfords. Good carry off the scrum win. We'll play it on the 40. Jubb scampers out of dummy half, pinches 10 metres now, up and over the halfway line. Best part of 13 metres, in fact, on the carry from the Featherstone hooker. Into Oldham territory once again. Springer, first receiver. Just puts his head down up to the 40. Comes out now to Addy. Addy drops off Day. Day comes at Wildy and gets help from Hurst. And Milner in over the top there, 30 metres away from the line. Couple of tackles remaining for Featherstone, leading by 2 points to 0. Addy, double pumps, gives it to Beckett. Beckett at pace. It's put to ground there by Lannon and Ormonroyd. 20 metres out, last tackle. Reynolds has it, digs the ball into the in-goal area, picked up, and it's a collision at the back, and Ryan couldn't get to it initially, but did dive on the ball in the in-goal area, and it will be another goal line dropout. And the problems coming off the boot of Ben Reynolds. Really nicely weighted one, difficult one, and an honest contest between Ethan Ryan, and I think it was Webb on that far side. And Ryan spilled the ball backwards into the in-goal area, like all good fullbacks do, did eventually clean it up, but concedes another 6 tackles, and there will just be a brief stoppage here while Ryan gets some attention. As the game pauses, Ryan back on his feet now. Will be okay to carry on. Just wonder whether he's playing for a little bit of time there, Ethan Ryan, to get some air back in the lungs of his teammates who've got to defend another set of 6 as Davis fires the drop out, taken on the full 5 shot of halfway. Beckett careers back into the line again. Another strong shot on him there by Ormonroyd. He's brought the ball right up to the 30-metre line on the first. Reynolds gives it on to Springer. Springer juggled it, but just about kept hold of it. Never looked comfortable holding that ball there, but he does keep hold as it's 6 again coming here. Messing around in the play of the ball, so this will be 0 tackle as Wild takes the ball from Addy, and he's brought down 15 metres away from the line. Springer now, out it comes to Addy. Addy into the line to Day. Good tackle underneath there by Lalo Togagai. Really brave tackle from the halfback. 5 shot off of the try line. Addy drops off Beckett. Beckett punching through the middle here. Wildy and Ryan affect the tackle on him. The bang in front of the post, 5 metres out. Jubb. Out it comes to Addy. Addy to Reynolds. Reynolds into the line to Akins. Akins is going sideways. Beats O'Keefe. Coming back through the middle of the field looking for an option. There's nobody to give it to and just straightens up himself. Wildy brings him down. 8 metres out. Shape right, goal left as Jubb tries to pinch one from dummy half. He's going to go close here, Will Jubb. He's going to get into the in-goal area, but he can't get the ball down. There's a trio of red and white jerseys around the ball. And they hold him up. He'll have to retreat the 10 metres. The play resumes. Reynolds kicks it to the corner, testing one for Johnson, who leapt from the field of play and is pushed over the dead ball line. Another set of 6 coming here. Fantastic and crucially really patient play from Featherstone here. Not forcing the miracle play. Reynolds has forced 3 goal line dropouts from his kicks already, just perfectly weighted. As I said, Johnson had to get off the ground just inside the field of play, took the ball in the in-goal area and was pushed over the dead ball line. Another 6 tackles as they're going to gamble with the short one here, Oldham. As Dixon claims it, takes it really well and well executed, it has to be said, from Oldham, who get a reprieve here. The short kick-off from Davis. Featherstone probably weren't set up quite for it. And Kieran Dixon salvages possession for his side as the game's just stopped here. Davis told to play the ball properly. Not for the first time in this game, referees pulled up players. He's still not in the right position. I must admit, I'm not sure whether Ben Davis took any steps forward or backwards in those 3 attempts to play the ball, but the game is back underway again as Hurst protests that he was held down. Smith is going to kick early here. He's got plenty of it. He's gone for the 24. So he was just over the 20, in fact. And that will go into touch, and just trying to get the ball down the other end of the field, Oldham. With 18 minutes gone here, they've played the vast majority of this game inside their own half, but as it is, only 2 points in the game at the moment. Featherstone 2, Oldham 0 on FRTV. As I said, a win today for Featherstone pretty much guarantees them a place in the playoffs, whether that will be 5th or 6th. Widnes currently with a points differential of over 150 worse than Featherstone's. As Wild plays it on the 40. Springer now trying to get up and over the halfway line and does so. Takes two Oldham defenders with him. Ball comes out to Reynolds. Reynolds shapes inside, gives it outside to Webb, who poked his nose through the line. O'Keefe had to affect the tackle on him. 30 metres out now. Ball comes back to Reynolds. Hands it on to Springer in the middle of the field. Tries to bump away from Milner. They get numbers in the tackle to bring the big Frenchman down. 25 away from the line. Slow play, the ball coming here on the last. Ball comes out. Addy's going to do the kicking this time. Puts it high. Out to this corner. Dixon tried to get up and take it. It was taken out in the air. He's certainly got some contact, and Gale is penalised for that, and that will be a relieving penalty for Oldham. Just disrupting Dixon on the way through. In the modern day, you definitely can't do that. And Smith will find touch on this near side. So Lalu Togagai gives it to Farnworth. Farnworth put to ground on the Oldham 13. He's lost the ball in the tackle there, and it's just given us a knock on, and more pressure coming on Oldham. They look a little bit rattled early in this game. The defence has been good on their own line, but how many chances are they going to give Featherstone here? And Featherstone with another set of 6 coming inside the Oldham half. Need to start converting some of these opportunities into points, you fancy. 2-0 the score remains. 20 minutes gone here at the Millennium Stadium. What do Featherstone have in their locker in attack? Scrum feed is one. Out the ball comes to Gale. Gale tries to go around Davis. Pushes him away, and then he's thrown to the ground by Wildy. Comes back through the ruck. Springer. Contact on him by Ormonroyd and Milner. Stops him from making any progress forward. Plays it 25 from the line. A little bit of pushing and shoving off the ball as Wild is ridden to the ground, in a strong challenge there again by Ormonroyd, working hard in the middle of the field. Ball comes out to Addy. Addy back through the middle. Trying to step away from defenders. So Ormonroyd brings him down once again. 10 metres from the line. Beckett. Out it comes to Aikins. Aikins into the line. Has Togagai all around his legs, gets rid of it for Jubb. Jubb fires it out to Wild. They're coming down this left edge now. Wild just keeps hold of it himself and brings the ball up to 8 metres from the try line on the last, just to the left-hand side of the post. Back through the middle once again. Addy looking for the kick out wide on the right. Looking to try and get Gale above everybody. It's Davis who's taken it. He's given it to Dixon. Dixon's away, but that's a great tackle from Wynn. Had to be alert. Got on his bike to bring down Dixon. We know how good he is in open field. The really timely intervention there from Wynn. The great play on the edge from Davis to collect that ball for Oldham, who are now on their own 30 through Johnson. Willed it to Chapelhow, who's just come onto the field, and he's tackled by the Featherstone man who's just come into the game in Vuniyayawa. Milner now, out the ball comes to Smith, hands it on to Lannon. Lannon, tackle on him by Reynolds. This will be the last one. They're coming down the short side as Smith punches it down the line, takes a bounce and goes into touch on that far side. 20 metres out, and everybody will just take a few seconds to walk to the scrum. With 18 minutes to go to the break, the game on a knife edge. Featherstone 2, Oldham 0. They play the ball in the middle of the field on the Featherstone 20. Game back underway. Gale. Got down in tackle of Hurst and Farnworth there. Wynn. Up and over the 30. Good carry through the middle of the field. Alford. He gets a penalty here. Oldham inside the 10 once again, and the referee just stopping the clock here. As Matty Wildy Just protests his innocence for his side. In fact, it's not for offside, it's for a second effort on the ground there, as Reynolds finds touch on that far side. And they'll start the set on the halfway line. As Wild takes the ball 10 metres into Oldham territory once again. Beckett. Dummies and keeps hold of it himself. Good yards taken by him up to the Oldham 30, just the second tackle. Options left and right, they come right. Addy drops off Funny Yawa in the middle of the field. He stands in the tackle and gets the ball right up inside the Oldham 20. Oldham have had to do plenty of defensive work, but so far have looked strong. What have Featherstone got here as Reynolds digs into the line? Out it comes to O'Connor. O'Connor's got some speed, but he's ridden to the ground on the inside. And good defence coming in there from Smith and O'Keefe. Ball comes back infield now. Reynolds comes off his left foot, spins, pirouettes into the tackle of Lannon and Chapelhow. That will be the last one for Featherstone. Big play coming up here, 10 metres out. Addy kicks the ball back to that left-hand side. It's battered into the arms of Alford, who grabs it and grounds the ball. And that will be the first try of the afternoon. The referee awards it. Daryl Alford's the man who took the high kick from Addy. Looked for all the money, it was going out to this right corner. He just stopped, turned, fired the ball back into the corner, perfectly weighted onto the head of Jack Johnson. And Daryl Alford's the man. Took it in the air, juggled it for a moment, spun round and grabbed it in the in-goal area to get Featherstone's first try of the game. Daryl Alford's 18th try of the season, extending his lead at the top of the try-scoring charts for Featherstone. And a huge try puts Featherstone out to a converted score advantage with 15 minutes to go to the break. It's currently Featherstone 6, Oldham 0. We were just saying earlier in the piece, Ben Reynolds had done a lot of the damage with his kicking game, forcing 3 goal line dropouts in the opening 25 minutes, but it was the boot of captain Danny Addy filling in at standoff. Doesn't matter where you put him, he always performs at a consistently high standard. Put the kick on the spot there for Alfords to climb high and get his 18th score of the season. And Ben Reynolds now an opportunity to put Featherstone to a 2-score advantage. And Oldham don't have themselves to blame really. The last couple of sets, an error in their own half. Back-to-back penalties giving Featherstone the opportunity, and Featherstone good enough to capitalise this time as Reynolds from 2 metres in from the left touchline looks to add the extra 2. He guides the ball between the posts again, and that is 200 points for the season for Ben Reynolds, and more importantly, puts Featherstone out to an 8-0 lead over Oldham here with 14 minutes of the first half remaining. You just see the try again. The ball comes out to Addy, turned, put it back into this left corner. Johnson tried his best, but Alfords, the bigger man, got over the top of him, grounds the ball. Featherstone with a 2-score advantage here as Dixon gets the game back underway for Oldham, taken on that try line by the try scorer Alfords. And Vunaya Yawa now back into the line, and just Featherstone punching, making those extra few yards after contact. Just physically a bit more dominant than Oldham so far in this game as Webb comes forward. Willed it, puts him to ground. Out it comes now to Wild. Wild brought down just shy of the Featherstone 30. Beckett through the middle, a little late footwork, got in between defenders up to the 40. Not a bad set after points so far from Featherstone. Couple of tackles remaining. Wild fires it out to Addy, out to Day, looking for a little bit of space, tries to go around Lalu Toga guy, gets rid of him, but he comes again with help from Davis to haul him down on the halfway line. This will be the last one for Featherstone. Ball comes out to Addy, who's under a little bit of pressure this time. Puts it high. And it's taken there on the full by Dixon, who just did enough to knock Addy off his stride, and he gives the ball to Ryan, and Ryan up to the Oldham 40 on the first tackle. So the end of set kick wasn't the best. And Oldham, as a result, approaching the halfway line on just the second tackle as Dixon gives it on to Johnson. Johnson put to ground on that halfway line. 3 tackles gone here for Oldham. Chapelhow now, trying to get them going forward. Takes the ball 10 metres into Featherstone territory. The ball comes out on the right. Smith gives it to Lannon. Lannon put down 30 metres away from the Featherstone line on the last. Smith chips it into the air here, looking to put Alfitz under pressure. It's just a fraction too long. Alfitz takes it cleanly, but he's put to ground by Smith 10 metres out. So Featherstone now will have to clear their own line. 11.5 minutes of the first half remaining. Score is Featherstone 8, Oldham 0. As I mentioned, a win this afternoon will more or less guarantee Featherstone a spot in the playoffs. Halifax playing Widnes, of course, who are also in the battle for that 5th and 6th spot. Great carry there from Wild again, who's worked extremely hard at loose forward, plays it 3 short of halfway. It comes out left on the last. Reynolds, low trajectory kick down the line, takes a couple of bounces and over that touchline 10 metres out. That's a great kick from the Featherstone standoff. Just puts the ball down the other end of the field and just challenges Oldham to come out of their own end once again. So will be a play of the ball. Morgan Smith just gesticulating to his teammates to hurry up and get back behind the ball. They are now as Davis comes forward, who joined Oldham early in the season on a permanent deal from St Helens. Plays it for Dixon. Dixon goes down on the 40. Milner digs into the line. Good contact on him by Jubb, with help from Vuniyawa to drive him back. As Oldham get ready to make a change here. And a good tackle on the interchange man as the ball comes out to Chapelhow. Lannon plays it on the halfway line. Ball comes out to Smith. Smith punts the ball down the line, takes another couple of bounces and rolls out of play on that far side. And that will be a controlled restart as Pelissier comes onto the field for Wilde. I believe the man who's just come on in the middle for Oldham in jumper number 44 is Tom Whitehead, which is, apologies for the confusion, he was down to wear jumper 35. But he is that may be as Featherstone come forward again now. O'Connor plays it. Williams up to the Featherstone 40, just into the game now. Williams in the last few minutes. Ball comes out, Addy Gooden do the kicking early. He's gone for a 40-20 here. He's got plenty on it. Has he got the trajectory? It's just rolled on its point kindly for Ethan Ryan, who cuts it off on the 5-metre line. And Wynn gets enough on him, and Addy finishes him off. Terrific kick chase. Featherstone doing all of the little things right at the moment. Pelissier, who's just come onto the field, gives it for O'Keefe. Pelissier waits at acting half. Out to Dixon now. Dixon. Flat pass for Davis, who wasn't ready for it. Gale picks it up, shuffles the ball out to Wynn. Now then, can Wynn get on the outside of Lelutogaga? He couldn't. But another great opportunity afforded here for Featherstone, with more errors inside their own half from Oldham. What they would give for a try, another try before half-time. 9.5 minutes to go to the break. Featherstone leading by 8 points to 0, looking to build on that lead. Reynolds. Out it comes to Addy. Addy, flat pass there for Webb. Webb trying to get his arm free. He's backing into defenders. He gets rid of his man. Can he get to the line here? Goes down a metre short. Plays it for O'Connor. Out to Addy. Addy. Out it comes to Jordan Williams, who almost went without that one. did well to keep hold under pressure. Plays it in front of the post, left and right, they come right. Reynolds drops off Gale, right over the top of Foster, who did well to stand his ground. As Job gives it out to Reynolds, Reynolds digs the ball into the in-goal area here, he's looking for it. And as an Oldham man got a touch on that, he has. Morgan Smith shuffled the ball over the dead ball line, and that will be another goal line dropout coming up, and more pressure on the Oldham line. As Davis, low trajectory kick for the touchline, got big on Day, but did really well to just bat that into the air and salvage possession for Featherstone. And now, with a full set of tackles, Featherstone are 20 metres away from the Oldham line. As he's just knocked on there, a poor error from Vuniyayawa on the second tackle. Just went straight through his hands, and that's a real let-off for Oldham, and an opportunity wasted there by Featherstone. And I just looked to clarify a couple of things with the Oldham lineup. I believe it is Matty Foster who is on the field, who was originally due to start the game but come off the bench. I believe it may have been Tom Whitehead, the man who was actually withdrawn early in the piece with a leg injury. So players wearing their appropriate shirts. Oldham off the scrum win. Johnson plays it just shy of the Oldham 30. Chapelhow looking to get some movement forward, but he's put to ground in a strong tackle from Wild, who's been tremendous for Featherstone in the middle so far. Milner ball playing to Foster. Foster just takes the ball up and over the 40. Pelissier tries to skip out a dummy half, but well read there by Vuniyayawa, who's alert to the danger. Pelissier plays it on the halfway line. Milner, ball playing through the middle, keeps hold of it himself and up and over towards the Featherstone 40 now, late in the tackle count. In fact, this will be the last one. Smith digging into the line, low trajectory kick. Alfort's one doesn't want any of that and just lets it roll into touch on that far side. 6.5 minutes to go to the break. Featherstone 8, Oldham 0 on FRTV. There'll be a play of the ball here when the game eventually restarts. Featherstone in possession. Job tries to scamper out a dummy half, picks up 10 good metres there for his side on the first tackle. Alfords, the game's only try scorer. It's the ball to the 30-metre line now inside Featherstone's half. Vuniyayawa. His head down and to the 40. Reynolds, nice ball to Webb into the backfield, gives it to O'Connor, and O'Connor will streak away and score, improves the angle next to the post. Fantastic play at the line again. Ben Reynolds with the disguised pass to Webb, who burst into the backfield and had Bailey O'Connor in support, and Featherstone get their second try of the game. With less than 4 minutes on the clock before half-time, a hammer blow delivered by the home side, who could go 3 scores in front with the conversion to come. It's now Featherstone Rovers 12, Oldham 0. And you can see on the replay here, it was a short side raid. Reynolds called for it, digs into the line, perfectly timed pass to Webb, straight into the backfield, who summed it up brilliantly for O'Connor. O'Connor streaked away from the last supporting defensive players, grounds it to the left-hand side of the post. Wonderful play from Featherstone. And Bailey O'Connor getting another try, his 5th of the season, and a crucial bit of play. And Featherstone have fancied their chances down that left edge. Reynolds looking to isolate Morgan Smith in the line. He did just that. And Webb and O'Connor did the rest. Fantastic half from Featherstone so far. To say a win this afternoon more or less guarantees them a place in the playoffs. And at the moment, they're worth every one of those points. As Reynolds with A conversion from the left-hand side of the post. Puts it between the sticks again here. The scoreline now, Featherstone Rovers 14, Oldham 0. Very, very well deserved so far in this game. As we see the try again. Short side raid, lovely pass from Reynolds. Webb into the backfield. Working in not a lot of space, finds O'Connor, and O'Connor did the rest. A 14-0 scoreline in Featherstone's favour approaching half-time. Reynolds 3 from 3 from the boot. And Oldham need to find a response here as the kickoff comes. Williams fires back into the line. The Oldham defence was up quickly to meet him. He'll play the ball 15 out. It comes to Webb. Webb into the line. Takes the ball forward. Been so consistent, Claire Webb, since coming over from Australia in the off-season. Addy now. Drops off Funny Iyawa. Rumbles the ball up over the 40. Great play once again. Good set after points so far from Rovers. Aikens. Stepped his way through a couple of defenders into Oldham's half once again. Last tackle. Ball comes out for Addy. Addy. Kick over the top here. Well weighted into touch. Brilliant kick from Danny Addy. Featherstone just doing everything right in these little areas, as I said. Almost a perfect set after points from Paul Cook's side. And Paul Cook will be an extremely happy man at this point. They've built up a strong 14 points to 0 lead. 2.5 minutes to go to the break. As the stadium clock suggests, as Oldham back in possession through Johnson, who's strong shot over the top there from Jubb. He'll play it 10 metres out. O'Keefe trying to get the game and Oldham going forward, but going to make 5 or 6 metres. Williams brings him down. Chapel-Howe poked his nose through that line, finds his front, relieving carry from the substitute forward. Pelissier plays it for Foster. Foster going forward is eventually brought to ground by Wild. A good carry from the young forward as Lalu Togagai sets off from dummy half, picks up 10 or 15 metres, bumps away from Reynolds, gets the ball out wide to O'Keefe. O'Keefe tries to straighten up. Good defence on the inside from Reynolds to bring him down. That'll be the last one. This has been a good set from Oldham. Lalu Togagai goes to the sky here on the last. Testing one as Ryan gets forward, bucks the ball back into the arms of Lannon, and Lannon will round the ball near the sticks and score. And just a little bit to unpack here. What's the referee going to say? He hasn't awarded the try just yet, but he is going to award the try, and Featherstone have conceded the first try of the afternoon for them, and Oldham, against the run of play, getting their first score of the game just before half-time. A disappointment for Featherstone. It was the kick that came out wide. They created some space on the previous play through O'Keefe. Lalu Togagai put the ball high. There's a contest in the air. It looked to have come off an Oldham man. It was Ethan Ryan who flashed through. Look at the replay here. Contesting the ball bounced up, taken by Lannon. Lannon scores. And perhaps a touch of fortune for Oldham there, but it was a contested the ball, difficult for the officials to see. But Oldham not hanging around. Ryan Lannon gets the visitors on the board. They simply needed to be the next to score, Oldham. However it came, as Kieran Dixon with a conversion attempt from 5 metres to the left-hand side of the post, 10 metres out. He puts the ball between the sticks. As the siren sounds in the background, which brings the half-time score here at the Millennium Stadium to Featherstone 14, Oldham 6. And a frustrating end to what's been almost a perfect half from Featherstone, who've completed really high, been extremely physical and patient with the ball, working their way through their repeat sets to build a 14 points to 0 lead. They took the lead after 7 minutes with a Ben Reynolds penalty goal from close range before Daryl Alford scored the first try of the game after 25 minutes. Ben Reynolds converted from the touchline. 10 minutes later, with 5 minutes to go till half-time, Bailey O'Connor raced in off a lovely break from Clay Webb to get Featherston's second try of the game. Reynolds converting to put Featherston out to a 3-score advantage, but just on the stroke of half-time, Ryan Lannon taking the loose ball from a contest for the high kick between Caleb Akins and Phoenix Lalut and Ethan Ryan, I beg your pardon, for a converted try by Kieran Dixon to cut the gap to 8 points. But Featherston in control here at half-time. Paul Cook will be eager to see more of the same in this second half. Been a very impressive opening 40 from Rovers, chasing that playoff place, of course. But half-time here at the Millennium Stadium. We'll take a quick break and be back for all the second half commentary in a few minutes' time. One for Featherston. Big play coming up here, 10 metres out. Addy kicks the ball back to that left-hand side. It's battered into the arms of Alford, who grabs it and grounds the ball. And that will be the first try of the afternoon. The referee awards it. Daryl Alford's the man who... To 40, Reynolds, nice ball to Webb, Webb into the backfield, gives it to O'Connor, and O'Connor will streak away and score, improves the angle next to the post. Fantastic play at the line again. Ben Reynolds with the disguised pass to Webb, who burst into the backfield. And from Reynolds to bring him down, that'll be the last one. This has been a good set from Oldham. Balutoga guy goes to the sky here on the last. Testing one. As Ryan gets forward, box the ball back into the arms of Lannon, and Lannon will round the ball near the sticks and score. Just a little bit to unpack here. What's the referee going to say? One for Featherston. Big play coming up here, 10 metres out. Addy kicks the ball back to that left-hand side. It's battered into the arms of Alford, who grabs it and grounds the ball. And that will be the first try of the afternoon. The referee awards it. Daryl Alford's the man who... To 40, Reynolds, nice ball to Webb, Webb into the backfield, gives it to O'Connor, and O'Connor will streak away and score, improves the angle next to the post. Fantastic play at the line again. Ben Reynolds with the disguised pass to Webb, who burst into the backfield. To 40, Reynolds, nice. Hello and welcome back to the Millennium Stadium in Featherstone, where it's half-time here in this Betfred Championship round 25 clash between Featherstone Rovers and Oldham. Featherstone with a commanding 14 points to 6 lead at half-time, as we are just waiting for the remaining players to come back on the field. As you see the scores at half-time elsewhere around the ground, York leading Doncaster by 18 points to 0, Halifax 14-0 up over Widnes, and Sheffield 20 points to 6 to the good over Hunslet. So at the moment that means in the live table that Featherstone, if scores remain this way, will seal a playoff place. As Featherstone come back out onto the field here this afternoon, disappointed by conceding that try to Ryan Lannon just on the stroke of half-time, but otherwise Paul Cook will have been extremely happy. As you see the table here, Featherstone, if it remains the same, will remain a point above Halifax with one game remaining, and will make it mathematically impossible for Widnes to overcome that. They will play playoffs if the scores remain the same. Featherstone have their fate in their own hands here. 8 points in front. Featherstone will have the ball in the second half first, and they are attacking from right to left up the slight hill here at Post Office Road. We're waiting for the ball on the field. We've now got 2 balls on the field. The referee, Liam Rush, just waiting. They get the game back underway. Dixon punches a low kick down here to the try line. Eventually rolls into the arms of O'Connor, and O'Connor gets to ground quickly there, 10 metres away from his own line. Put to ground by O'Keefe and Johnson. Alfords, who got the first try of the game. It's brought down a few metres short of the 20. Vuniyayawa. Good, strong run through the middle there. Taken to ground by Foster. And Williams here is put to ground, but that will be an early penalty going against Oldham here. There's offside. They caught a couple of times for offside in the first half, Oldham, and an early touch finder and a relieving penalty downfield for Featherstone, as Reynolds finds touch on that far side, just short of the Oldham 40. So Featherstone here will go straight back on the attack early in the second half. Reynolds takes the pass, gives it to Wild. Wild straightens things up. Put to ground by Foster. And over the top was Davis. Come down the short side, Akins into the line. Dummies almost slipped the net there, Caleb Akins, but the door closed on him by Davis just in time. 20 metres away from the line, Addy drops off Vuniyayawa. Vuniyayawa now all the way up to the Oldham 10. They come down the short side here through Akins into the line. Keeps hold of it himself, trying to find the offload. Foster sticks to him and halts the play. A couple of tackles still to come. Come back through the middle. 2 passes wide here to Reynolds, who drops off Webb. Webb didn't quite get the ball where he wanted it. Just had to stutter into the line a little bit. This will be the last one. Bang in front of the post. They come left. Reynolds puts the kick high here. Looking to find Alfords, who bats it back in field into the path of Addy, who couldn't take it in. And that's a golden opportunity. Goes begging for Featherstone. Alfords had got the hand to the ball, batted it back into the path of Addy. It was difficult for the skipper to take, in fairness. He's down by his bootlaces and he couldn't reel it in. And Oldham, a real let-off for them. Look to clear their line now through Johnson. Johnson put to ground on his own 10. 2.5 minutes gone here in the second half. Score remains Featherstone 14, Oldham 6. And a penalty now coming against Featherstone. For the contact there on O'Keefe. To find touch on this near touchline side. A relieving penalty for Oldham this time. Chapelhout. It's the ball in the middle. Put to ground 5 short of halfway on the first tackle. Smith fires the ball onto Foster. Good contact on him from Addy, and then Vuniyayawa in to bring him to ground on the halfway line. Lalu Togagai skips into the line. Dummies tries to go through himself. Good tackle on the inside from Addy. Cries for a high tackle there from the Oldham fans, not given by the referee. Pelissier just straightens up, takes the ball to the line. Good shot on him from Judd, but he gets away from 1 and 2. Almost getting up and going again and brought to ground by Wild. Such a tricky customer to put on the ground, policy here. 30 metres out now, Oldham. Out it comes to Smith. Pass it to no man's land. It's pulled his hand away, O'Keefe. He's got a kick on that. Alfords has knocked the ball backwards to O'Connor, and O'Connor picks it up. And O'Connor's into the backfield. Has O'Connor got the pace? He's going to go to the corner. He's got 3 Oldham chasers after him. He'll beat the cover and score. Will he? Rolls into the in-goal area. And a fantastic try from Bailey O'Connor, his second of the game. He picked up the scraps in an honest contest between Alfords and Ryan. He picked it up. He had 3 chasers after him. Ben Davies did all he could to bring him down. He ankle tapped him. He rolled a half a yard short and just rolled into the in-goal area for the first try of the second half, and the referee awards it and puts Featherstone out in front to extend their lead to 18 points to 6. As you can see on the replay here, he's racing away to the corner. Davies did everything he could. He ankle tapped him, he hit the floor and just rolled into the in-goal area before anybody could get near him. Second try of the game for Bailey O'Connor, and more importantly, re-establishes the 2-score lead for Featherstone. It's Featherstone 18, Oldham 6. And O'Connor's 6th try of the campaign. And that just comes from desperate defence from Featherstone. It was a wayward pass from Morgan Smith. It was towed on initially by Alfords. Got to the ball first. The ball just spilled backwards out of the tackle into the arms of O'Connor, who raced away from the best part of 60 metres. What a try from the young centre. His second of the afternoon. And Reynolds now from 5 metres to the left-hand side of the post puts the ball between the sticks here as Featherstone open up a 3-score advantage over Oldham once again. It's now Featherstone Rovers 20, Oldham 6. You see the replay again, the ball spilling out. O'Connor just stepped away from Lalu Togagai, raced into the backfield. He had Johnson chasing him, he had Lalu Togagai chasing him, he had Davis chasing him. And he did just enough, knocked off his feet, but rolled into the in-goal area without a hand laid on him. Scores the try. Featherstone back in control of this game. Vuniyawa off the restart. Job at acting half, gives it to Alfords. Alfords, who played a key role in getting Featherstone the ball back in the lead up to that try. Plays it, 25 out. Wild. Played the whole first 40. Plays it 30 metres away from his line. Williams. Williams comes forward again up to the 40. Out the ball comes to Akins. Akins digs into the line. Up and over the halfway line once again. This will be the last. Good set after points again from Featherstone. The ball comes out to Reynolds. Reynolds. High kick up. Testing one at the back for Ryan. Ryan fires the ball back out to Dixon. Dixon, swarming defence around him. Beat the first man. Couldn't get away from the attention of Wild and Day. And he'll play it on his own 10. Ryan. Through the middle of the field, put to ground by Williams and Vuniyawa, 20 metres from their own line here, Oldham. 7 minutes of the second half gone. Featherstone 20, Oldham 6. Davis. Good low tackle there, coming in from Vuniyawa, just cut him in half. Pass comes out to Foster in the middle of the field. Shapes gives the ball out to Smith. Smith just straightened into the clutches of Webb, who closes him down, ball and all. Puts him on the ground on the Oldham 40, last tackle. Lalu Togagai didn't get the contact on that he might have wanted, but it was a difficult one for Akins to take, who was immediately put to ground there by Johnson. O'Connor. Jubb and Wild get their first spell of the afternoon. Connor Jones and Robson Stevens into the action for the first time this afternoon. Win plays the ball 35 out. Alfords Swats away from Smith, but can't get away from Lannon this time. Ball comes out short side again for Reynolds. Reynolds into the line to Akins. Akins is put to ground by Smith and Pellissier. Last tackle. Kicking from 45 out is Reynolds. Another high one. This is a tester for Ryan. Ryan is immediately put to ground by Vuniyayawa. Plays it 15 out. Come forward. Johnson beats the first man. Put to ground this time by Connor Jones. As Oldham go to their bench as well, make a couple of changes. Milner and Chapelhow off. And Farnworth and Ormonroyd back into the action, and Farnworth straight into the action, in fact. This first carry since coming back into the game. Stands in the tackle of Jones. Told to get up, just get on and play the ball. Foster digs into the line. Good tackle down low. Vuniyayawa once again. Good physicality from Featherstone on show. And they're going to kick on the last here. Smith from just his side of halfway. Takes a couple of bounces, trapped at the feet of Alforts. Alforts fires the pass out to Akins. A wobbly pass, but took it well. Gives it to Wynn now. Wynn coming across the field, looking for some space, looking to get round O'Keefe. And good on his feet, Wynn, and Wynn's into the backfield here. He went round Smith like he wasn't there. He's over the halfway line. He's got O'Connor in support. He didn't use him as O'Keefe got back well. But not before Featherstone have got the ball to the Oldham 40. Reynolds, back inside it comes to Jones. Jones. Great play from Connor Wynn there. 30 metres away from the line now, Featherstone. And he hasn't played the ball properly, Connor Jones. And that will be a cheap turnover and a real let-off for Oldham here. Just dropping back to the ground after trying to play the ball. The referee ruling he hadn't got to his feet properly. And that will be a simple turnover on the Oldham 30. Something was really building for Featherstone there off the back of a fantastic break from Connor Wynn. But this will be a let-off for Oldham and a chance for them to clear their line. So Davis now off the restart. Put on his back in the tackle of Williams and Jones on the Oldham 40, first tackle. 11 minutes of the second half gone. Featherstone 20, Oldham 6, the only score in the second half. That breakaway try, 60-metre effort from Bailey O'Connor. But Oldham now in possession through Smith and Lannon. Lannon put to ground. Come down the short side, Pellissier, Smith. Options inside, tries to cut in field. Good tackle on the end, in the end there by Vuniyayawa, and Webb closing the door on him. Pass, flat pass there for Farnworth. Farnworth fires it into the backfield for Foster. Foster's going to rake away. It's going to be hard to stop here. In fact, he won't be stopped. And cries in the build-up for a forward pass there. As a looping pass through the middle of the field, tipped on into the path of Farnworth, who got into the backfield. Fired a speculative pass out of the tackle to Foster, and Foster scores the try and puts Oldham back in the game here. It's now Featherstone 20, Oldham 10. You just see on the replay here, it was the pass from dummy half, I believe, that was, people claiming it was forward. The pass was then tipped on. Foster gave it to Farnworth. Farnworth fired a no-look pass on the inside back to Foster, and Foster did the rest. A good finish from the young forward, but a touch of controversy perhaps. That pass from Pellissier, flat at best. But Oldham just keeping themselves in the game here. Again, 2 tries. Against the run of play, really. As Kieran Dixon has the opportunity to cut this gap once again. "20 metres out. Guides the ball between the posts. Scoreline now, Featherstone Rovers 20, Oldham 12. Pellissier, that pass from dummy half was very flat at absolute best, being kind. The wraparound play in the end, Foster scoring the try. Featherstone get the game back underway. Lalo Togagai on the try line. And Farnworth comes back, the man who did the damage in that play. Just been advised, in fact, in the lead up to that try, it was actually Tom Whitehead, the scorer of that try. So the apologies for the confusion there. The jerseys not representing what they did on the team sheet. Tom Whitehead, the man in jumper 44, was originally named in 35, so it was Tom Whitehead who scored that try for Oldham. As it is, Oldham still in possession. The Lalo Togagai, flat pass there for Whitehead. Whitehead into the backfield. This time it is called back for a forward pass. And ironic cheers around the Millennium Stadium from the Featherston faithful as they believe they were robbed of a forward pass in the previous set. And this time the referee calling that one back. As we look at the replay again here, and that was no doubt about that one being forward. The touch judge is right in line with it. And the chance chalked off for Oldham, but warning shot across the bow there perhaps from Oldham, who came down the field really well after those points, and looked to have cut the line, but showing what they can do in attack in the last few minutes, Oldham. It's Jones put to ground there in the tackle from Smith. Vuniyayawa now. Vuniyayawa will play it 10 metres into Oldham territory. Game still in the balance here. Reynolds steps off his left foot, couldn't get away from the attention of Lannon. 25 minutes to go here. Oldham trying to work their way back into this game. Featherston looking to extend their lead, leading Oldham by 20 points to 12. Stevens will play it 25 away from the line. The last tackle, Reynolds. It's the chip kick in behind the line, taken by Ryan. He's going to have a difficult job to get out of the in-goal area, and he can't, as Jones, Akins and O'Connor were there in attendance. That's the fifth goal line dropout forced by the boot of Ben Reynolds. Fantastic knock so far from the experienced standoff. Perfectly weighted again. There was nothing Ethan Ryan could do about it. And another set of six coming up potentially for Featherston. Will Oldham go for the short one? They opt for the long one this time. He's got plenty on it. Taken on the halfway line by Williams. Williams coming back as a Featherston make a change. Vuniyayawa off, Beckett on. Stevens now. Stevens just tucks the ball under his arm and promotes the ball up to the 20. Plays it. Middle of the field. Addy goes out to Reynolds. Reynolds shapes, gives it to Gale. Gale into the backfield. Gale was just taken by the bootlaces by Whitehead. Crucial intervention. 10 metres out now, though. Beckett takes the pass. Beckett's going to be hard to stop. In fact, they won't stop him. And Jimmy Beckett gets up and salutes the fans behind the sticks. The referee awards the try. And he's mobbed by his teammates. Just a hard run off the pass, straight through the middle of the ruck. And powered his way into the in-goal area, and just the response that Featherston needed after conceding that try. And they put themselves back in control of this one again. We've got 23 minutes to go till full time. It's now Featherston Rovers 24, Oldham 12. And Gale went so close on the previous play, left defenders on the ground. And this time, Addy just dropped off Beckett, literally just back on the field. Went straight through three defenders, got to the line, plants it down. And a wonderful try, an honest try from the big front rower. Beckett's fifth try of the season, and what a time to get it. As Featherston take one step closer to securing their playoff place. 12 points the advantage. Reynolds with the opportunity here from 5 metres to the right-hand side of the post to put them back out to a 3-score lead. The way he's been kicking, you wouldn't back against him. Such a high percentage goal kicker, Ben Reynolds. One of his easier attempts this afternoon. looking to convert the Jimmy Beckett try. Steps up, guides the ball between the sticks once again, takes the scoreline out now to Featherstone Rovers 26, Oldham 12. Featherstone just keeping Oldham at arm's length here. As you see the replay again, desperate defence on show to bring Gale down 5 short of the line. Played it quickly, Addy just turned Beckett underneath. The fresh legs of Jimmy Beckett went straight back through the gap from the previous play and powered his way over the line. Wonderful try from Jimmy Beckett, who brings with him a level of consistency every week for Paul Cook, and getting the rewards on that occasion. So Oldham get the game back underway. It's a difficult high kick taken, and almost difficult one for Wynn, but did very well there to take it and avoid the attention of Ben Davis. And the referee just telling Wynn to go back and play the ball. Pelissier thinks that he should have had a penalty there. The referee just coming in, telling the players to compose themselves. We'll restart the game 22 metres away from the Featherstone line. Gale up to the 30. Alford's now, big carry through the middle from him. Good tackle down low by Pelissier, and over the top was Farnworth. Addy gives it to Day. Day advances the ball up to the halfway line now. Middle of the tackle count for Featherstone. Ball comes out for Aikins. Aikins. Out to Addy. Addy on the last. Puts it high from 40 out. Testing one for Dixon. Takes it well. There's nobody really around him and has a little bit of room to wind up, but he's met a strong challenge there by Beckett and Williams, who hold him up. We're inside the final quarter of this game at the Millennium Stadium. Featherstone in control, leading by 26 points to 12, and Oldham give away a penalty in possession here. Running around the back of his own man, I believe the referee Liam Rush has given. As Oldham, the referee just stopping the clock, in fact, for some running repairs for Ormonroyd. But this will be on the resumption of play. Featherstone's ball deep inside Oldham territory, and Oldham just been guilty a few times of letting their discipline get the better of them, and this time penalised in possession. Just running around the back of his own man, as I mentioned. Paul Cook down on the touchline, barking instructions here. Wants to see his side go on with the game. He wants to bring the kicking tee out. The players are saying, no, they're going to play on. They're going to roll this on. They fancy their chances. 5 tries for Featherstone already in this game. They fancy another one. Another try here would make it very, very difficult for Oldham. Ormonroyd still in the arms of the trainer here, getting some running repairs. He's already got that head strapped quite heavily. At what point does the player have to come off here? It's quite a lengthy stoppage here for the referee's already had to stop the game, and he's still getting treatment here, Ormonroyd. And he eventually takes his place back in the lineup here. Featherstone fans not impressed by the length of stoppage we've had. As Danny Addy comes from the field now. Been fantastic so far. In fact, is he coming off? It's fooled everybody there, including the ground announcer. Is he coming from the field? We're not sure. The game gets back underway, eventually does go off the field. Will Jubb comes on and had a very good stint, a good hour from the Featherstone skipper. Jubb straight back into the action at acting half. Stevens passes the ball on to Williams. Williams just fires into the line. He'll go down 15 short of the Oldham try line, just to the right-hand side of the post. There's still tackles in the bag here for Featherstone. Ball comes out to Reynolds. Reynolds gives it to Aikins. Aikins, the gap opened up for a moment. Closed quickly, though, by Whitehead. The pass comes out to Stevens. Stevens backing his way up towards the line as Oldham shirts all around him, though. Pass comes out to Reynolds. Reynolds digs the ball in, takes a ricochet, and Reynolds drops back on the ball, and that's been given as a knock on there. And I think the referee is going to rule a turnover in Oldham's favour here, so Featherstone not doing too much with that set of 6, but perhaps a little bit unlucky with the decision from the referee. I didn't see a knock on from Featherstone there. I saw it coming off a foot of an Oldham man, and then Reynolds dropping back on it. We can't quite see on the replay, but 18.5 minutes to go. Featherstone 26, Oldham 12 on FRTV. Oldham need to get the ball back down the other end of the field. It's been a familiar sight. Featherstone playing the field position and territory extremely well so far in this game, starving Oldham of any decent territory and ball. As Hurst plays it. Out the ball comes to Whitehead. Flat pass for Ormonroyd. Ormonroyd is bent backwards in the tackle there. Pelissier trying to snipe from dummy half, and a good tackle on him by Jubb. O'Keefe at acting half gives it to Smith. Smith into the line. Out it comes to Lalu Togagai. Lalu Togagai almost slipped the net there. Desperate tackle needed from Williams to bring him down. 40 metres away from the line. Last tackle. Smith puts it high. Testing one at the back. Taken well by Aikins. Safe as houses there. Did really well to claim that and reel it in. As Gale put to ground on the Featherstone 20. Win. Bumps away from Pelissier and comes reeling out of that tackle, comes again, but not before Wynn's brought the ball right up to the 30. Jubb to Stevens. Stevens with a carry through the middle. He makes 5 metres through the middle, up to the 35. Ball comes out to Williams. Williams up and over that 40-metre line now. They've made reasonable yards on this set, Featherstone. This will be the last one. Reynolds to do the kicking here. Puts it high through the middle of the field. Testing one for Ryan, who has to come forward for it. Takes it. And he's put to ground there in the chase from Jubb. And Beckett. Stevens in there to help too. It's Johnson. Looking for some yards through the middle. Put to ground 5 short of halfway. 16 minutes of the game remaining. Featherstone 26, Oldham 12. Dixon knocked off his feet in the tackle from Stevens there. Finished off by Jubb on the halfway line, bang in the middle of the field. Pelissier, Smith takes on the line, still going forward, Morgan Smith. Eventually scragged to the ground there by Williams, and Jubb. He's left both defenders on the ground here. Jubb's hurt himself in back play, struggling with a back problem, is looking to get back on side. This will be the last one. Oldham 20 out. In the arms of Smith. Smith shapes to give it inside, loops the pass over the top to Hurst. Hurst wrapped up in a fantastic tackle there from Gale, who just swallowed him up. Ball and all tackle. That will be the turnover on the Featherstone 15-metre line. Jubb looks okay to carry on. Getting back underway, Aikins now. Springer back into the action. Williams off. Imagine that Springer will see out the remainder of this game as Aikins is shoved back to the ground, gets up and plays it. Gale. Gale plays it on the 30. Wynn up to the 40 again, just so good in contact, Connor Wynn. Springer goes down a couple of metres short of halfway. Plays it for Aikins. Aikins into the line. Nobody came up on him, and he Gets the ball all the way up to the Oldham 40 now. This will be the last one. Reynolds is going to have a little bit of time and space to kick. Puts it high again. A testing one at the back there for Johnson. In fact, it's not going to be. He's got his radar wrong with that one. Reynolds puts it out on the full. And that will be a turnover on the Oldham. Just short of the Oldham 40. So the first real kick that Reynolds has put wrong. Just sailing out of play on the full. So Oldham make another change. Ormonroyd coming off. Chapel Howe back on for Sean Long's side. 14 minutes of the game remaining. Score remains Featherston 26, Oldham 12. Whitehead if they'd given that pass, it would have definitely been forward. Made the right choice to keep hold of it. An easy defensive work there on this occasion for Springer. Pelissier to Smith. Smith into the line. Out it comes to Ryan. O'Connor read it well. Came out of the line and got just enough of him to bring him to ground. Pelissier, short side raid here. In fact, he dummies and tries to skip through himself. Pelissier fires the pass out to Farnworth. Farnworth just straightens things, runs into his opposite number, Beckett. Beckett wrestles him to the ground with help from Day. Oldham are 20 metres away from the Featherston line here. Couple of tackles still to come, and a 6 again comes against Featherston. So back to 0 here. Chapel Howe with the ball 15 metres out, and this is a big defensive test for Featherston. What do Paul Cook's side have without the ball? Lalu Togagai comes off his left foot. Great ball and all tackle. In fact, he's bounced back to his feet. Lalu Togagai comes again and put to ground by Beckett and Webb, and this will be a penalty for the high shot on the half-back. So they'll just regroup. Just under 13 minutes to go. Featherston 26, Oldham 12. And Oldham with a full set of tackles here. Ball comes out to Farnworth. Farnworth just standing in the tackle, put to ground there by Jubb. Flat pass for Chapel Howe. Chapel Howe is bundled back this side of the in-goal area. Good tackle by Stevens. Pass comes out to Lalu Togagai. Double pumps, gives it to Ryan. Ryan cuts off his left foot, trying to sneak through the line there. Just pulled down a metre short by Gale. Quick play, the ball coming though. Pass comes back to Farnworth. In fact, it's gone to nobody, and it's battered forward by Chapel Howe, who knocks it on. And the ball kicked into the sky by Reynolds. But great defensive effort from Featherston again. Just a wayward pass from dummy half, but Featherston getting people in the picture, closing down the space and forcing the error, and that's been a real feature so far of Featherston's defensive efforts. Something that will be really pleasing, head coach Paul Cook. The way that they've just attacked defensively, knocking Oldham off their rhythm and doing so again in that set, forcing the mistake, and they'll now have a chance to clear their line. In 11.5 minutes to go here. Featherston retaining that 14-point advantage. 26 points to 12 they lead. And a penalty now, which will help even further. A relieving penalty again. Again, a second effort on the ground. Really frustrating if you're Sean Long and Oldham. Time and time again, giving away cheap penalties. As he finds touch on this near side, Featherston will start their set. 35 metres away from their line as Webb, straight up carry, runs at Lannon and O'Keefe. Put to ground there. Springer takes the ball at speed, and O'Keefe stood his ground there, but not before conceding another 5 or 6 metres after contact into the Oldham half rather. Reynolds digs into the line, gives it to O'Connor. O'Connor looking for the offload, good tackle down low by Smith. 30 metres away from the line now. The ball comes back infield to Reynolds. One pass on to Springer through the middle. Takes on Whitehead and Chapel Howe. Springer plays it 20 out, middle of the field. It comes to Reynolds. Reynolds fires the pass out the back to nobody, but O'Connor was there. O'Connor dinks through the line there. He's taken off the ball. It's not come back off the uprights. It's bounced up for Jubb, and Jubb takes the ball, and this will just be a continuation of the set. Last tackle. Jones out to Reynolds. Reynolds looking for the kick out wide here. Alford's trying to get on it. It's bounced into the in goal. It's taken a deflection Johnson got his hand to that, just propelled it over the dead ball line, and I believe the 6th goal line dropout forced by Featherstone here from the boot of Ben Reynolds. Has the ball on a string this afternoon. Absolutely tormenting Johnson on this far side. As they go for the long dropout. Interesting tactic from Oldham, taken on the 40 by Jones, who gives it on to Springer. Springer just catapults himself back into the Oldham line up to the 30. We're inside the final 10 here at the Millennium Stadium. Featherstone 26, Oldham 12. Featherstone looking for that knockout blow. As the chip behind the line, there's no fullback at home, but Ethan Ryan did really well to regather that ball. He recovered in time, he was up in the line. And Featherstone kicking early in the piece. And Oldham back in possession here. Davis plays it. Dixon, line speed, great from Webb, but he breaks away from his tackle, can't get away from the attention of Beckett. Still inside their own 20 here, Oldham. Johnson. Webb puts him to ground on the 20. 3 tackles gone here for Oldham. Lannon tries to straighten things up and put to ground there, 25 metres away from his own line. Last tackle. Whitehead to Lalu Togagai. Lalu Togagai's in trouble, he's bounced away from 1 and 2. Chips over himself, they've got men in the picture here. Togagai's towed it through, he's got the ball back, but Alforts has brought him to ground, ball and all, with help from O'Connor. And every time that Oldham have pulled the trigger on an attacking play, Featherstone just keep coming up with the answers. And O'Connor will retain possession for Featherstone here on the 30. 7.5 minutes to go. 26-12 the scoreline remains. Featherstone creeping ever closer to locking in that playoff spot. So Gale now up to the Featherstone 40. The jug comes off. And Nathan Wild coming back into the game. Jones to Wild. Wild straightens the line, put to ground, 40 metres away from the Oldham try line now. Springer. Springer comes forward again. Good tackle down low by Pelissier and Chapelhow. This will be the last one, 30 metres out. They come down the short side. Reynolds just dinks the ball into touch on that far side, about 12 metres out from the try line. In fact, it's even better than that. It's on the 10. And this will be a walk to the restart and challenging Oldham to come back down the other end of the field. Again, we've seen the majority of the game played at the right end of the field for Featherstone. Just played the territory battle so well this afternoon. Pelissier skips out of dummy half and makes 7 or 8 metres. Despite not being overly tall, very difficult to bring down in contact. Johnson. Dixon on the inside, didn't use him, kept hold of it, put to ground by Beckett. Whitehead. Out it comes to Togagai. Hands the ball on to Hurst. Hurst is shuffled back in the tackle there from Day as Oldham make another change. Pelissier off, Wildy on. Lalu Togagai gives it to Farnworth. Farnworth just backing into the tackle, can't get away from the attention of Stevens and Jones, and in the bottom of the ruck there was Day. Lalu Togagai, first receiver, fires the ball out wide, untidy to Dixon, who cuts back in field. Defenders were waiting for him though in the form of Jones and Wild. This will be the last one as we approach the 5-minute mark here at the Millennium Stadium. Ball comes out to Lalu Togagai, puts it high from 40 out. Should be a simple one for Akins, who takes it under no real pressure. Skips into the line, tries to take on O'Keefe, bumps away from him. Can't get away from the attention of Lannon first up, with Chapelhow in there to help out. Alforts put to ground in the tackle of O'Keefe there. And Webb is put to ground on the 20. Just under 5 minutes of the game remaining. Featherstone still in control, 26 points to 12. Heading for the championship playoffs once again in 2025. Reynolds kicking early here, fires it down that far right side. Trickles almost to a halt before being picked up by Ryan, and Ryan scrabbed to the ground there, and a good tackle by Connor Wynn. And Oldham start their set on their 30. Dixon shaped for the long looping pass out wide, decided against it, kept hold of it, put on the ground there by Wynn. With help from Jones, a little bit of an untidy tackle there. Ball comes out to O'Keefe. O'Keefe, he's put on his back there, and a good tackle by O'Connor. He's had a really good game. 2 tries this afternoon from the Featherstone centre. Lannan pushed backwards in the tackle there by Springer. Whitehead straightens things, goes down 40 metres away from the Featherstone line. Last tackle, 3.5 minutes remaining. As the high kick comes from Smith once again. Akins takes it really well. Fantastic play from Akins. It was a really difficult kick. It was a high trajectory kick, but into no man's land. And it was players flashing through, and it did really well to keep his eyes on that ball and take it, despite being clipped in contact. Featherstone working away from their own line. Alfords now through the middle of the field. Goes down a couple of metres short of the 40. 3 minutes on the clock. Featherstone 26, Oldham 12. Featherstone all but secure now in the playoff places. 3 minutes from a vital result here, which will see them finish at worst 6th. They will stay in 5th position for this week as the kick comes through, and that's surely a knock-on from Dixon, and Dixon has knocked the ball on. He batted it down. I'm not sure what he was trying to claim there from the referee. There was no way on earth that ball had gone backwards. It just got really big on him right at the last minute, and he puts the ball down. And a chance now for Featherstone to finish with a flourish. A try here would really bring the house down. In charge by 26 points to 12. Inside the final few minutes. Scrum feed is won. Ball comes out to Gale. Gale trying to go out wide here. Still going sideways. Bumps away from Wildy. Coming back through the middle of the field as Wildy comes again. And Gale brought down 9 metres away from the Oldham line, just to the right hand side of the post. They come back through the middle. Beckett slips just before he got to the line and was taken high there. And this will be a simple 2 points here. Featherstone aren't interested in any potential injuries late in this game. They know they've got the game wrapped up, and Reynolds will be content here to just take the extra 2 and just take all of the pressure off the final couple of minutes here. Don't think we'll have time for too much longer after this kick. So Reynolds, 5 from 5 so far this afternoon, surpassing the 200-point mark. The live scores in here at the moment. York winning comfortably over Doncaster 46-0. Halifax look like they're going to hold on and win the game over Widnes 16-8. And Sheffield beating Hunslet 42 points to 6 as Reynolds steps up to add the extra 2. 6 from 6 from the boot of Ben Reynolds this afternoon. Takes the scoreline now to Featherstone Rovers 28, Oldham 12. And Featherstone with a fantastic performance this afternoon against 4th place Oldham, locking up a playoff spot. They'll play in the championship playoffs for the 2nd season in a row. And Paul Cook, after taking charge early this season, turning the club's fortunes around and securing that playoff place as the kick-off, an awkward one, takes the bounce on its point to Aikins. Aikins crabbing across the field into the arms of Smith and O'Keefe. O'Connor is creeping a little bit high there, the referee saying shoulder first. Webb is tackled there as the siren sounds in the background. That brings an end to the action at the Millennium Stadium, and Featherstone coming out worthy winners in one of their more impressive performances of the season. And more importantly, it locks up that all-important top 6 finish for Featherstone Rovers. Exactly where they will finish, we don't know yet. They've got Bradford to play next week. Halifax have to play next week as well. Looks like they've won against Widnes. So the top 6 spots locked in. But whether it'll be 5th or 6th, Featherstone, time will tell. But a fantastic display. Featherstone were in control at half-time, 14 points to 6, thanks to a try from Daryl Alfitz and a first to Bailey O'Connor, with Ryan Lannon getting a try just on the stroke of half-time for Oldham. Bailey O'Connor raced away 5 minutes into the second half to get his second try of the game before Tom Whitehead pegged one back for the visitors. Then the remaining points were all Featherstone's way. Jimmy Beckett crashed over with 20 minutes to go, and just on the stroke of full time there, Ben Reynolds adding another penalty goal. The fine afternoon off the boot from him with a full time score here. Featherstone Rovers 28, Oldham 12. Oldham will have a week off now, regroup and go into the playoffs in 4th place. But Featherstone have made sure that they will feature in the playoffs this year. And they'll look to take that momentum and finish the regular season strong against Bradford next week. But it's finished full time here at the Millennium Stadium. A highly impressive performance and display from Featherstone. Seen Featherstone Rovers beat Oldham by 28 points to 12. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.